Okay, today our talk is about the chariot. Those days in the ancient times, during the Buddha's times, and until these motor vehicles were found, the method of traveling was basically based on chariots driven by horses, oxen, sometimes donkeys. So this sutta is about the vehicles, based on the vehicles used by the king, Hosala. Based on that simile, Buddha tried to explain, not really Buddha, but one of the most prominent Dhamma speakers, Buddha's disciple at that time, he tried to explain the path of purification, path of Nibbana. Quite deep sutta. Right. On the basis of these factors of this sutta, there is a big treatise is written by Venerable Buddhaghosa. The Visuddhimagga was written on the factors of this sutta. So it is quite a deep Dhamma is there. So we try to clarify the sutta as our knowledge serves. It begins with that Lord Buddha, the Blessed One, was living in squirrel sanctuary in the bamboo grove at Rajagaha. Rajagaha is the capital of Magadha, right? This is one of very famous cities at that time. The house of the king is the meaning of the term Rajagaha. Gaha is the house, Raja is the king. Right? Now, he was living in this monastery called Bamboo Grove Monastery, or we call it in popular terms Veluvanarama Temple. Veluvanarama Temple. It is there, still there. Not in a very vast scale, but in a smaller scale. It is there in India, this bamboo tree monastery. Very beautiful place. Variety of bamboo trees are there. Now in Malaysia only a few types of bamboo trees you can find, but there are a variety of bamboo trees in this monastery, even today. In this monastery there is a particular area called the Squirrel Sanctuary. Squirrel Sanctuary. This Squirrel Sanctuary was given to this area, the name given to this area because one of a unknown king once visited this area, and while he was taking a rest, suddenly a black snake, very venomous snake, was coming towards him to attack him, to bite him. He would have died with that snake bite, but the story is a deva came in the form of a squirrel and made a noise and woke up the king. And since the king woke up, his life was saved. After that, the king commanded these squirrels are at liberty leave this place without any harm. Moreover, these squirrels must be given a salary. We don't know what kind of salary is that. Yeah, these squirrels must be given a salary. Maybe, yeah, fruits and nuts. Yeah, maybe. But we don't know what it is exactly. What does it mean? But because of that, this place, the freedom given to the squirrels, hence this place is called the squirrels' sanctuary. So there must be squirrels, yeah, living in this place enormously in number, right? So when he was residing there, a group of monks came from his hometown, Buddha's hometown. These must be the monks who were ordained from Kapilavatthu. Yeah? After the rains retreat, they came to see the Buddha at Rajagaha. Right? That's quite far. It is very far from Rajagaha to Kapilavatthu. Right? If you travel in India, even today, you can find how far it is. It is very far for somebody to travel from Rajagaha to Kapilavatthu. This is walking, moreover, not traveling by train or bus. Yeah. So they came to see the Buddha after the rains retreat. When they came to see the Buddha, now it is very interesting. Buddha asked a certain question. Now, if somebody came from your hometown, I guess most of you are not in your hometowns. If somebody came from your hometown, about whom will you be asking? You will be asking about your family, about your brothers and sisters, about your uncles, about your relatives. But in this sutta it says Buddha did not ask about them. He did not ask about his family there. His father was there, his stepmother was there, and of course his wife is there, former wife. Yeah, and his all relatives are there, but he did not ask anything about his relatives. Very interesting, huh? In a way, Buddha did not have much concern about the state affairs, talking about the kings, talking about the rulers of the country. It's not the area of the Buddha. What is the Buddha's question? This is the question Buddha asked. Buddha asked about a monk. Ask about a monk. This is how he asked. Bhikkhus, who in my native land is estimated by the bhikkhus there, by his companions in the holy life in this way, having few wishes himself, he talks to the bhikkhus on fewness of wishes. Content himself. Now first quality is fewness of wish. Fewness of wishes. Do you know what is that meaning? He doesn't have much as expectations. He doesn't have much aspirations. His wish is very little. A monk may have only one wish on the spirituality, that is enlightenment. Other than what wish he wants. He cannot wish to have certain things in his life in the material sense because he's not earning or anything. Yeah? He cannot wish anything. His life is unpredictable. Monk's life. If you really live according to the Buddha's livelihood at that time the way the monks live is very unpredictable. Very unpredictable. He doesn't know what will happen tomorrow. He doesn't know whether he will have food for tomorrow. He doesn't know whether he will have a roof over his head tomorrow. He doesn't know where he will be tomorrow. So how can you have expectations? So, fewness of wish. Buddha says he has this quality and he promotes this quality. Is there a monk like that? Buddha asked about a monk. Then, content himself, he talks to the bhikkhus on contentment. Then it is contentment. Contentment. You know what is contentment? To be happy, to be satisfied with what you have. Right? That means if you have something bad, or if you have something that you didn't wish, or not up to your taste, okay, whatever, I'm okay with this. No, is it the contentment? No, it is not. I am thankful for this. I am thankful for this thing. That thankfulness for what he got is the contentment actually. It is not just for the sake of what to do. I am a monk, this is what I get. No, that is not contentment. Right? The contentment in the Buddhism is to thankful for the very breath you are taking in. Thankful for every mouthful of food you take in. Not based on the taste of the food, delicacies of the food. No. The arahants. We are talking about arahants, okay? Not about normal monks. Their contentment is they are thankful. They are thankful for the very little things they get. That is their contentment. In our lives, we have so much of things to be contented, don't we have? Right? We have a very functional body, well functioning body. The arahants, they are thankful for their well functioning body. Isn't it enough for us? Yeah. There are millions of people in the world, millions in number, who don't have eyesight. By birth they are blind. By birth they are deaf. By birth they cannot talk. By birth they cannot walk. Now, by birth, throughout the life, they will be like that. By birth, they are retarded. They are not like others. They are not to behave like others, not to live like others. Spiritually or psychologically, mentally retarded. When you compare them with us, by birth they were born on the roads, they live on the roads, they are homeless for life. Millions. Just go to India and see. Few times of Malaysian population are on the roads. In America itself, in 1980s, their statistics showed 30 million people on the roads. 30 million. More than Malaysian population, including the foreigners. Including me. No home. They are homeless. How fortunate we are. How lucky we are. But we are not thankful for this luck, for this fortune. Yeah. That contentment is that thankfulness for the blessed life we have. When you compare with those thousands of people who are suffering. Yeah. Now, fewness of wish. Second quality is the contentment. Contentment. Buddha asked, Is there a monk who is content himself? He talks to the bhikkhus on contentment, then secluded himself. He talks to the bhikkhus on seclusion. You know the seclusion? Ability to be alone without being lonely. Everybody becomes lonely. Whether you like it or not, it happens. Longer you live, more lonely you will be. Longer you live, more funerals you attend and say goodbyes than attending to the weddings. You will be attending more funerals. More of your beloved ones, close ones, friends, relatives, one by one, saying goodbyes to you. Long life is not a blessed life in that sense. Yeah? It is not a nice life actually. Live longer means you are going to be lonely more. Sometimes better not to have that much of long life. But in Buddhism, Buddha says art of or technique, a system to be alone without being lonely. What is that technique of or the art? Meditation. In the meditation, one can become alone and enjoy that aloneness. For us, people become alone and they suffer in that aloneness, so they say they are lonely. In the Buddhist technique, you are to be alone and to enjoy that aloneness. Meditation grants that benefit to us. So he talks to the bhikkhus on contentment, secluded himself. He talks to the bhikkhus on seclusion. Aloof from society, he talks to the bhikkhus on aloofness, separated from the society, part of the monk's life. Energetic himself, he talks to the bhikkhus on arousing energy, that is the energy to practice. Attained to virtue himself, he talks to the bhikkhus on attainment of virtue. You know the virtue, the sila, practicing, protecting, preserving sila. Attained to concentration himself, he talks to the bhikkhus on the attainment of concentration. Step by step it goes to from the basic virtues, then to the higher virtues, then to the higher morals, then to the higher practices. He talks to the bhikkhus on attainment of concentration. He attained to wisdom himself. He talks to the bhikkhus on the attainment of wisdom. Attained to the deliverance himself. He talks to the bhikkhus on the attainment of deliverance. Attained to the knowledge and vision of deliverance himself. He talks to the bhikkhus on the attainment of knowledge and vision of deliverance. He is one who advises, informs, instructs, urges, rouses and gladdens his companions in the holy life. Buddha's question for this group of monk was that whether there is a monk who has these virtues, who has these qualities. Yeah? When somebody came from his hometown, that's what Buddha asked. Whether there is a monk who is practicing like that, who is living like that. Then these monks named or gave a name about a bhikkhu who was just like that. Right? Venerable Sir, the Venerable Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta, Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta. Now, Puṇṇa is his name. His mother's name is Mantāṇi and Putta is the son. Puṇṇa, that Mantāṇi's son. Right? That is how they are named. No surname, no any other clan name or anything. Puṇṇa Mantāṇi's Putta. There are a few monks in the Buddhist history, Buddhist tradition, we can find named after their mothers. Very strange. In that society, usually they were named after father. Now these monks were named after mother. This monk is one of them, Puṇṇa. Which Puṇṇa? Because there are few Puṇṇas, right? This Puṇṇa is the Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta, Mantāṇi's son. This monk says, Blessed One, Bhagavan, the Mantāṇiputta, Mantāṇi's son, Puṇṇa, is such a monk. He has these qualities. He has these virtues. Very high esteemed monk who was called Sāriputta. Again, he was named after mother. Sāriputta. Sari is the mother's name. Putta's son. Sāriputta. Sari's son. Yeah. When this was heard by Venerable Sāriputta, he thought, it is good if I can meet this great Venerable. If I can meet this Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta, this great monk, who was highly esteemed by the fellow monks. So this is after the Vasa. Buddha started traveling. On his traveling, step by step, from Rajagaha, Buddha reached to his high quarters or the main quarters, Buddha's main center, which is called the Jetavana Monastery in Savatthi. Savatthi is the capital of which country? Kosala. Rajagaha is the capital of Magadha in modern Bihar. If you have traveled or if you have seen the map of India, Bihar is a very big land. So it took some time Buddha to travel in India, It is not an easy area to travel. So Savatthi is the capital of Kosala. In Savatthi, the temple, Buddha's headquarters, that is Jetavana Monastery. In the books, in the textbooks, it is mentioned as not as a monastery, it is mentioned as Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's Park. Jeta's Grove, 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 Anathapindika's Park. Not as a monastery, right? Jetavane Anathapindika Sārame, that is how it is explaining in the suttas. Now, Venerable Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta heard that Buddha had come back from Rajagaha to Savatthi. So, what did he do was, now in the sutta explained, how did he prepare himself to go to see the Buddha. He set his resting place in order and taking his outer robe and ball, that's all. That's what he took as the possession to go to see the Buddha. Outer robe and the alms ball, that's all. Taking his outer robe and the ball, set out to wander by stages to Savatthi. Wandering by stages, he eventually arrived at Savatthi and went to Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's Park. Now here, he met the Buddha and had a discussion on the Dhamma. Buddha teaches him Dhamma. And after that discussion, he went to the nearby forest of Savatthi. The nearby forest or the forest of Savatthi is called Blind Men's Grove. Andhavana. Blind Men's Grove. This grove, this Andhavana, Blind Men's Forest, is quite well known in the Buddhist history or Buddhist literature that several incidents happen in this in this Andavana, blind man's forest. Yeah. So Buddha used to, and the Arahants frequented this place for their meditation. Yeah. Some people who were practicing so hard to become enlightened, they were practicing in this forest. And Buddha also, time to time, to take rest, he went to this forest, Andavana forest, or the blind man's grove, Andavana. So this Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta, Venerable Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta, to take a rest in the daytime, he went to this blind man's grove. Venerable Sāriputta heard this. Venerable Sāriputta was expecting to see this highly respected monk, Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta. So Venerable Sāriputta went to him and have a friendly discussion discuss about each other's well-being. How are you? Right? But remember, Venerable Sāriputta never introduced himself. He did not introduce himself first. Yeah? We don't know why. But in the Sutta it says he did not introduce himself. So Venerable Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta doesn't know who is this. He didn't know that he is talking to Venerable Sāriputta. Now, after this amiable, friendly talks, courteous and amiable talks, friendly talks, they started to discuss the Dhamma. Sāriputta asked, is the holy life lived under our Blessed One, friend? That means you were following the teaching directly from the Buddha. That is the question. Were you following the teaching of the Buddha directly from him? Then he answered, yes. Then, but friend, is it for the sake of purification of virtue that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One? Now the first question, are you living this holy life, this life of purity, for the purpose of purification of virtue? Purification of virtue. That is the first purification of the 7 purifications. Purification of virtue. What is the Pali word for that? Sila Visuddhi. Sila Visuddhi. Purification of virtue. Right. Sila Visuddhi. What is Sila Visuddhi? Sila Visuddhi, or the purification of virtue, is to follow or to adhere certain conduct, certain rules and regulations, certain precepts which is helpful to maintain a stability in the mental as well as physical phenomena. Yeah? Mentality and physicality must be maintained on such a standard so that the practice of that person will become successful, will become fruitful fast, easily. Now, for example, before meditation, our guidance, our advice is what? To observe precepts. Observing precepts is mandatory before the practice. Sila. Right? It is mandatory because if you don't have the background with you, background of calmness, quietness on the surface level, no control over the bodily actions, no control over the verbal actions. If you don't have that, a certain control over it, how can you have a control over your mind? Impossible. So therefore, first is to have a control, a stability of the body as well as the words, the mouth. That is Sila Visuddhi. Practicing the pure or the correct Sila for the purpose of Nibbana, or for the purpose of meditation actually. Right? I have this simile, I always say this simile, that for example, I get a sapling, let's say a sapling of apple sapling, yeah, valuable. Though I know in Malaysia or in Sri Lanka we will never get apples, but it is too proud to have an apple tree in the temple. So we plant that apple sapling. Since it is so valuable, we put a fence around the sapling to protect it, to preserve that sapling. Because anybody can harm that sapling. It is not a big tree yet, small tree. Anybody can destroy that. So I plant the sapling and I plant the fence around it, sticks. In Sri Lanka, we have some sticks. You just plant it, they grow. They just grow. No need to put any fertilizers, nothing. They just grow. They are useless. That is why they just grow. Useful things don't just grow. They don't just grow. Useless things just grow. So we plant these pens with some useless sticks, and after some time I forgot the apple sapling. When I went to look at it, what has happened is very sad. The pens has grown. Very big trees now, but the sapling is dead. What is the purpose of pens without a sapling? Sila is to protect, preserve with samadhi, concentration. People observe Sila, but they forget to preserve or forget to protect the samadhi. Their fence will grow old, will grow up, but there is nothing to protect. You don't protect. You don't preserve the samadhi. That means their nibbanic journey is not perfect. Remember, in Buddhism, other than the 5 precepts, if you observe extra precepts, 8, 10, you name any number, if you observe other precepts, that is only for one purpose. That is for the meditation. Other than the 5 precepts, if you observe any number of precepts, it is only for one purpose. To observe precepts is for meditation. Samadhi. To preserve, to protect, to develop, to cultivate samadhi, you observe precepts. This understanding must happen. This purification must happen as the number one. But Venerable Sariputta's question is, did you become monk? Did you become a monk? Did you become a monk to purify your virtue? Is it your goal? Venerable Mantāṇiputta says, no, it is not. It is not my goal. Then the second question comes. Is it for the sake of purification of mind? Chitta Visuddhi. Chitta Visuddhi. Did you become a monk to purify just your mind? Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta says, No friend. It is not that, my wish. The third question. Did you become, or is it for the sake of purification of view? Purification of view. What is the Pali term? Ditti Visuddhi. You have heard this term, Ditti. Purification of view. Right? What is the wrong purification about, wrong view or right view about the purification? The purification of view is to have the right view over the mental, physical phenomena or the five aggregates. Right understanding, right view about this very life. Five aggregates. Do you know the five aggregates? First one, body, Rupa, Skandha, the body aggregate. Because of the body, because the body exists, what does exist then? Feelings exists. If there is no body, no feelings, right? No feeling. Feeling exists, that is the feeling aggregate. Since there is feeling, feeling is understood. Perception aggregate, Sanya Khanda. Rupa Skandha, Vedana Skandha, Sanya Skandha. Once it is understood, then you do what? React. Do karma on that understanding. Karma happens on that understanding. You react to it. That is Sankhara Skandha. Right? Mental formations. Aggregate of mental formations. Then there is something change according to that mental formation. That is the consciousness. The aggregate of consciousness. Vijnana Khanda. See, one after the other. Supporting each other, they exist. The five aggregates. Rupa Khanda, the body aggregate. Vedana Khanda, feeling aggregate. Sanya Khanda, perception, aggregate of perception. Sankhara Khanda, reaction to those perceptions or the mental formations based on that perception. That is Sankhara Khanda. Then when all these are together, certain background is created, certain color is created, certain energy is created. That is called Vijnana Khanda. Vijnana Khanda. Like a lamp, Sri Lankan oil lamp, any other oil lamp, right? The lamp, oil, the wick, right? Then you light it up. A light will happen when they are all included. A light will happen. That light is the Vijnana, the consciousness. Yeah? So, having a right view is having understood this five aggregates. In short, five aggregates is mentality and physicality. Having understood this mentality and physicality, proper or correct manner is the purification of view. Do you understand this? Yeah? That is the right view. Next one is purification by overcoming doubt. Purification by overcoming doubt. That is Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi. Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi. Kankha, K-H-A. Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi. Purification by overcoming doubts, overcoming doubts. Doubts about the existence, doubts about this very life, whether it was in the past, whether it will be in the future. All these doubts. Doubts considered as one of the very strong obstacle, very strong bondage, very strong pullback, a person stopping him to get into the enlightenment. So purifying this doubt is vital, is a vital necessity. So that is the next one. Purification by overcoming doubt. Next one is purification by knowledge. Doubt is to overcome, right? Purification, the doubt. How you purify the doubt? By overcoming it. You have to get rid of it. Overcome it. Next one, purification by knowledge. Now here, purification by knowledge and vision. What is the difference between knowledge and vision? Knowledge is the wisdom. Vision is the ability of seeing, ability of observing as it is. As it is. Not as when the birds see a scarecrow, birds think that this is a man. Is it the right view? Is it the right vision? It is not. We also, when we look at things, we are not so different from the birds. We also understood in the wrong way, in the incorrect manner, incorrect way. Right? Like the birds, when they see a scarecrow, they think this is a man. In the same manner, we also, seeing the five aggregate, we think this is permanent, this is eternal, this is everlasting. This concept is there. This body is solid. Nobody think that this body is moment to moment arise and vanish, arise and vanish. When you see a flame of a lamp, we think the one we light up is the one we extinguish, right? When we light up a flame, oil lamp or a candle, we think we are extinguishing the flame which we lighted up. But the one we lighted up is dead and gone for ages ago. Moment to moment, new flames arise, vanish, arise, vanish, arise, vanish. But it is happening so fast, in a very fast, rapid manner. We don't see the gap between them. Hence we think it is just the same flame. No, that flame is always arising, vanishing, arising, vanishing, arise, exist, vanish, arise, exist, vanish. Our body is just the same, arising, existing, vanishing. Vision, right vision is the one which help us to see that arising, vanishing nature, not the false vision we think that, which make us to think that this is a permanent body. This is a body which is existing, right? So that understanding is that ability of seeing, that ability of understanding is the purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path. Magga magga jnana dassana visuddhi. In Pali says, Magga magga jnana dassana visuddhi. Magga, Amagga. The right path and the wrong path. What is the right path and what is the wrong path? To understand it, to see it, you have to purify it. You have to purify it. Like a goldsmith burn the gold and remove the unnecessary which are not gold from the gold and purify the right and get the right gold. You select the right path with your wisdom as well as with your vision. You select the right path. That is the purifying of knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path. Magga, Magga, Jnana, Dassana, Visuddhi. Then the next one is purification by knowledge and vision of the way that the holy life is lived under the Blessed One. Patipada, Jnana, Dassana, Visuddhi. Patipada means what? The principles of the holy life. Capability to purify and to see the correct principle of the holy life. Correct principles for the practice. Right? The last one is purification by knowledge and vision. Jnana, Dassana, Visuddhi. It is just to purify the wisdom and the ability of seeing. Right? If you are interested, I can write on the board, but I have to explain it a little bit further on this issue. Then Venerable Sāriputta asked, on each of these factors, is this your goal? Is this your goal? For each question, Venerable Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta says what? No, friend, it is not my goal. Is your goal to purify the virtue? Is your goal to purify the mind? Is your goal to purify the view? To all these questions, he says no. Then Sāriputta asked, if we cut short all these things, since we don't have much time, right? If we cut all these to in a short form, he asked, why? Why you say these 7 paths of purification, 7 methods of purification is not your goal for each and every one? You said it is not my goal. Then why did you say that? Then when Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta clarified that, friend, when you take them separately and asked whether this is my goal, if I select one out of them, it is not my goal. When you take the whole 7 things which help each other, like the relay chariot, he asked this, he told this story. Suppose that King Pasenadi Kosala, while living at Savatthi, had some urgent business to settle at Saketa, another city which is very far, and that between Savatthi and Saketa 7 relay chariots were kept ready for him. Then King Pasenadi Kosala, leaving Savatthi through the inner palace door, would mount the first relay chariot, and by means of first relay chariot he would arrive at the second relay chariot. Then he would dismount from the first chariot and mount the second chariot. By means of second chariot, he would arrive at the third chariot, fourth chariot, fifth, sixth, and the seventh chariot. He would arrive at the inner palace door in Saketa, and when he had come to the inner palace door, his friends and acquaintances, his kinsmen and relatives would ask him, "Sire, did you come from Savatthi to the inner palace door in Saketa by means of this relay chariot?" The last one, the final one. How then should King Pasenadi Kosala answer in order to answer correctly? In order to answer correctly, how should he answer? He has to relate from the first chariot up to the seventh chariot. This is how I change the chariots. Likewise, my friend, you asked me whether this virtue is my goal. No, virtue is not my goal. Whether the purification of mind is my goal. No, my friend, it is not just purification of my mind, but this whole set of 7 factors of purification, which is ultimately support the ultimate goal, is my practice. Not just one. Yeah. So this is this is very deep sutta. We can go very deep in when you start explaining each factors. Venerable the one who wrote the Path of Purification, Buddhaghosa, wrote a book bigger than this on these 7 factors. Yeah, on these 7 factors of purification. He wrote a book bigger than this and smaller letter than this. Yeah, it takes years to master that book. Yeah, so one day, once I master, I will start teaching you.
Next slide.
Maybe one fine day, it is possible. So after this discussion, Venerable Sāriputta actually really complimented this Venerable Mantāṇiputta. He says, "It is wonderful, friend, it is marvelous. Each profound question has been answered point by point by Venerable Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta as a learned disciple who understands the teacher's dispensation correctly." This is how he actually complimented Venerable Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta. Then only Puṇṇa Mantāṇiputta asked, "May I know your name?" This is Sāriputta, right? "May I know your name?" Then Sāriputta answered, "My name is Upatissa, friend, and my companions in the holy life know me as Sāriputta." Right? This is how he explained himself. My real name is Upatissa, but in the monks call me Sāriputta. Indeed, friend, we did not know that we were talking with Venerable Sāriputta. That he didn't know this. He didn't know that he is talking to Venerable Sāriputta. Now, this is how he is known among the Sangha the Sāriputta, the disciple who is like the teacher himself. That much of wisdom, that kind of wisdom in the Venerable Sāriputta. A disciple who is like the teacher himself. Then he says, if we had known that this was the Venerable Sāriputta, we would not have said so much. We would not talk this much. Yeah, it is wonderful, friend. It is marvelous. Each profound question has been posed like that. He compliment Venerable Sāriputta. So this sutta is not clearly from the Buddha himself. Two disciples talking on the Dhamma, discussing on the Dhamma. Yeah, the seven factors on the path of purification. If I mention once more, just for your remembrance, purification of virtue, sila visuddhi. See, the sila comes first, right? Otherwise, chitta visuddhi doesn't happen. The second comes what? The chitta visuddhi, purification of the mind. The third one is, when you purify your mind, then after that, purification of the view, ditti visuddhi, purification of the view. Then the purification by overcoming doubt. Purification by overcoming doubt. After the ditti or the view, the doubt. Purification by overcoming doubt. Purification by knowledge and vision of what is the path and what is not the path. Yeah? That means you understand the path. There are two paths. Now, Buddha said very clearly, Anya hi labhupanisa, anya nibbana gamani. The path to gain, to receive, to have things. The path to have is one. Path to nibbana is another one. Anya hi labhupanisa. Labha means gaining, receiving. Right? The path to have. What is the meaning path to have? That means the path of worldly life. The worldly life is the path of having things. Right? Path of having things. Now in the path of Nibbana, you don't have things. You don't get things. You have to let go things. So the path to Nibbana is another one. In the path of receiving, Nibbana is not there. And the path of Nibbana, receiving is not there. You cannot maintain a tanha there. You cannot maintain receiving there. So these two different paths, what is path and what is not the path, must be clearly perceived with the vision and knowledge. Right? Purification by knowledge and vision of what is path and what is not the path. That is the next one. Next one, purification by knowledge and vision of the way that the holy life, purification by knowledge and vision of the way, of the principles, of the practice. Purification by knowledge and vision of the way, that means the principles. Then the last one is purification by knowledge and vision. Purification by knowledge and vision. Yeah? Knowledge and vision is related to what is path and what is not the path, and of the principles, and then the knowledge and vision themselves. Knowledge and vision themselves. Okay? These are the seven path of purifications. Seven paths of purification. Each and everyone supporting each other to continue. From the surface level of sila going down to the depth of purification. Right? It is explained in this sutta called the Rathavinīta Sutta, the relay chariot. Each and every factor is supporting others to rise and flourish. Yeah? Like the relay chariot, the first chariot helped the one to reach the second chariot, then the second chariot helped one to reach to the third chariot. Likewise, ultimately, the seventh chariot bring the person to the city. In the same manner, each path is each factor is supporting other factors to arise and flourish, ultimately get into the Nibbana. Okay? Yeah. That's it. Sadhu.
Sadhu.